All right, wave to everybody, Brad. Get everybody, come on in. Come on, come on. All right, hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical
And together we
therapist.
are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course.
Today, Brad, we're going to talk about 10 tips to help stop back spasms and new back pain, which we refer to as acute back pain.
Acute.
It's not cute, but it's recently started back pain that generally doesn't last that long. But
Right.
so kind of what we're going to be doing is first aid for back pain.
Exactly. Let's
So-
get it under control right away.
By the way, if you are watching us on the rebroadcast on YouTube, please take a second to subscribe to us.
Rebroadcast.
Yeah, that's a big word, Brad.
Yeah.
We're going to provide you videos on how to stay healthy, fit, and pain-free, and we upload every day. The subscription button should be somewhere over there. And if you're on YouTube, go over to Facebook and make sure you like us. If you're on Facebook and you're right now, make sure that you've liked our page too, because we provide free things over there all the time. Next week, we're going to be giving away something again.
Oh, goodies.
So it's a lot of fun. So let's go get started here, Brad. Let's start off with number one. So the reason the back is spasming is quite often it's the body's way of telling you you're not supposed to be doing something.
Right. It's listen to your body. And this is our spine model. I'm not just holding it for fun, but we're going to use it for good demonstration.
Right. This spine right now is facing this way here. So, and what happens quite often, I'd say in 80 to 90% of the cases, you want to make sure, Rosie, keep down. In 80% of the cases, make sure that you're not bending forward like this. Brad, you want to show on the spot on you what you're doing?
So
Yeah. This is often what is causing the spasm to occur because you bent your back that way too often. Maybe it was during sitting. Maybe you were just sitting like that for a long time with your body slouched like this. So the back spasms, and what it does, the muscles tighten up, and they don't let you go into that position, Brad.
sure, they're trying to protect.
Yeah, they're trying to protect your back. It's your body's way of helping you out. So the first thing you want to do, Brad, is stop getting into that position.
Right. Correct the
Yeah.
posture.
Right, correct the posture. And we'll show you some things to help stop that, but we'll right now just stop doing it. Okay. The next thing, Brad, is I would recommend ice. A lot of times people go, well, should I use ice or heat on back spasms? Well, when you first injure something like an ankle and it's swelling, you don't want to put heat on there, would you?
No, I
Would you,
wouldn't
Brad?
know about.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that since you're a physical therapist. There's actually could be swelling in your back also, and quite often there is.
Right.
There's some type of injury that's occurred. So you're going to start off with ice, and you can go ahead. I'd say for the first 24 to 48 hours at least.
Yep.
And after that, you can continue with the ice yet because ice goes quite deeper than heat.
I just personally, clinically as well as on myself, patients myself, typically have better response with cold if it's a tender back. If it's just tight, maybe not, but if it's real tender and it's really sore, that'll be my first go around. But after 48 hours, maybe the heat, some people respond better.
I would also, we're not pharmacists, and Brad has a pharmacist friend we've had on before. We've talked about this ibuprofen. Taking an NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. It really helps right after you injured your back to help calm things down and get the swelling down.
Sure.
He recommended, kind of going with an aggressive dose to start off with.
Yeah, it's going to depend on your body weight.
Yeah, and just always remember if you take like ibuprofen, make sure you take toast or something along with it because it can be hard on the stomach.
Yep, some milk.
That's as much as we'll say about that because we're not pharmacists.
Right.
We're physical therapists.
Exactly.
So,
we'll let them take care of their business.
all right, next one, Brad. Maybe you want to combine the ice along with this. This works out really well. If you don't have a leg wedge, you can just use a chair or what is it, ottoman? What are those things?
Yeah, leg rest. You can. Ottoman's the right word, I believe.
You can lay on the floor. Brad, why don't you first show how to get in and out of bed when you got back pain?
Okay.
The two ways, because you're going to have to do this in order to put the ice pack on and even use the leg wedge.
Sure. So we're talking. That back is hurting. You're walking like this, and you may be a little.
Well, especially if it's spasming.
Yeah. So you don't want to go into this position. For one thing, it hurts, and your body's telling you not to. So let's assume this would be your bed. This is a really good way to do it. Instead of doing the normal going like this.
That is one way to do it, but
Right.
you can, don't
Well, if you do it
like proper.
slowly, but
Yeah.
if you just kind of
go like that. That's terrible.
All right. So this is a nice way to do it. It's going to really keep your back. Imagine you've got I tell my patients, a 2x4 from your sacrum to your head. You're going to keep it to your body like it's casted in a big cast. You're going to walk down, the leg closest right here. You're going to get up.
So you look at it, he's keeping everything straight here
There
the whole time.
Down, take your time with this. Down, 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 down. No, it all depends. A lot of people may find laying on your stomach is very comfortable, and if that's the case, just lay there and let your back relax.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad position to start off in.
Exactly. So if you got a really soft bed, it might be too much. You may have to put a pillow under your stomach, and you may find that relieve
And
it.
sometimes even 2 pillows.
Sure.
By the way, Brad, I think we are getting a lot of comments. And by the way, if you are on Facebook, make sure you give us the thumbsies and the heartsies.
Yeah, we like a lot of
Yeah, we like those.
I'm telling you what, Bob, I could take a nap right there.
So, and for getting out, Brad, you want to hold on to this one?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Getting out was the same way. You go to the edge and then work your way up like this. This actually saved my life because Brad had just showed me this technique. I just happened to have an episode of back pain right after he showed me. And I don't know how I would have gotten out of bed. I literally don't know how I would have done it. So
that was quite a few years ago, Bob.
Yeah, it was quite a few years ago. The next thing you might try, Brad, which you have on, is a back brace.
Right. I'm not just wearing this to look cute with suspenders.
Yeah.
So this is the kind that we both, I think, really like. It's got the dual support. You put it on. The straps are just there to help you maintain good posture because they remind you to keep the shoulders back. And then this first strap you're going to put on in a kind of a just snug. You're not going to tighten it up real tight, but these second straps are the ones that give you the extra support. And you pull this one over here and this one, and you can just feel it snug off right.
That one too that kind of pulls and tightens up, but there's different ones. I've done the studies on this, Brad. The one time that back supports really are helpful is when you're having new back pain or acute back pain,
right?
A flare-up.
Yeah,
it really does work out really well then.
Well, it's going to help maintain that neutral position where the muscles are not being stressed. I think I'll take this off now, Bob.
We kind of jumped ahead here, Brad. We kind of forgot we were talking about getting out of bed because the reason we wanted to do that is because we're going to show the leg wedge.
Oh yeah.
Or if you get on the floor. So again, I'm getting into bed incorrectly right now. But, this thing works really well. Brad and I have found many patients that really like it. It's really kind of hard to create at home. I mean, but you can put your foot up on a stool or ottoman or a chair.
Right. If you're laying in say your living room and you got a carpeted floor, you could go up to a nice soft chair.
Oh yeah, you can even go up to the sofa.
Right.
Couldn't you? And lay down.
Wow, this is killing me.
Okay.
Here you go, rest there.
So you get your back in this position, and then you can take the ice pack and you go ahead and put that in place. And so now you're getting the double benefit. You're getting your back into a good position right now, and plus you're getting some of the ice on there, so that.
Let's see if that makes Bob go.
Oh yeah, that is good. So the leg wedge, I go over there like $25. You could buy it, probably an inexpensive one.
Right. Yeah. And this is the angle you need.
Yeah.
This angle right here, really, we don't really quite understand why this makes it feel so good, but we found.
Yeah, it's better than when your leg is like this. It seems like the support along the thigh seems to help out even more.
Right.
So we're not sure why. We should know. We're therapists, but we don't.
We're just being honest. We can make something up.
All right. After things are starting to calm down, one of the things we recommend very quickly is you try to do some walking. I try to have patients do walking as soon as they're able. It's amazing how walking, especially if it's not causing increased pain.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to do anything that causes a spike in the pain.
Right.
But just plain old walking just gets more blood flow to the area. You're generally in decent posture, and it's just, I had a friend that worked at a back clinic, Brad, and that was the first thing they do too, is had people work on walking.
Right.
So.
And you're going to walk on a flat surface. Don't go walking up hills or anything like that.
Good point.
And don't go too far.
Uneven surfaces.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't go out and find out, oh, geez, it's starting to hurt now, and you got half mile to get home.
Yeah, it's like swimming halfway across the English Channel and then getting tired of swimming back. That's an old joke here. All right, Brad, the next thing is you're going to want to try to figure out which movement is going to help decrease your back pain. You want to look at comments, Brad?
Yeah,
while I'm doing this?
Yeah, show them the movement.
Okay. One that generally most people can do right away is just general trunk rotations. So you're going to lay like this, bring your knees up like this, and you rotate back and forth like this. Now, it may appear that I'm just moving the hips, but I'm actually also rotating the back. If it hurts in one direction, let's say it hurts this way, we're just going to work the other direction. I've done this. I just did this with a patient. I had her yesterday. She had very little motion in both directions, but she could go one way, and that's the way we're going to have her work on. Now, ideally, for most of you, again, because in the vast majority of you, since the pain was probably caused by you bending forward like this, we want to start working the back in the opposite direction into extension. So that's what Brad was talking about. When you get onto the bed and maybe you start with a pillow underneath you here, maybe two pillows, and you're going to start like this, and then eventually you're going to get what we call a prone prop. You're propping on your elbows like this. Brad, are you able to read anything?
Yeah, this should answer Mohammed Watcher 1000. I had a question about therapy causing problems, but if you follow what you're saying here and go in the right directions, when
you got to choose the direction.
Right, it should make it feel better. So some directions are going to irritate things, other directions. And usually it's one direction that's going to zero in.
Yeah, you got to figure out which direction your back can go without increased pain.
Right.
And sometimes it takes a few repetitions to see that.
Right.
Before you do it. So anyway, for most people, it's going to be this direction. You're going to want to lay flat, get up on the elbows, and then eventually you're going to put your hands underneath your shoulders, and you're going to just start doing press ups like this. And you're going to go and just probably part way up, and then eventually you can go up further. Yes, as pain allows.
Right.
You don't want to, pain is your guide here.
In other words, as it feels better, you can go higher. Okay, you're not going to push into it and think, oh, well, no pain, no gain. That is not the proper approach.
Eventually the pillow would be gone, and I'm all the way up like this. That's the end goal, and generally by then things are starting to calm down. The pain is feeling better. Now, after a few days, if things are still bothering you, I'm hoping the back spasms have stopped. At that point, you could try heat. You could try a heating pad, or we even mentioned infrared. We had that in one of our videos. I'll try to link that below.
Sure.
That's a deep form of heat.
Lulu Bell here, she was wondering about, she says in the morning when she gets out of bed is when her back is bothering her. There's a good chance that is due to how she's sleeping, the position. I don't know if we...
I was going to talk about some sleeping position.
Okay, good. So we're going to get into that.
Lulu
Bell.
Lulu Bell, I love that. Lulu Bell, hi. I love that name.
Bell. Yeah, I hope I'm not getting the pronunciation wrong. Apologize if I am.
All right, so you can use some heat. Number 8, you could actually use a back support. If you are going to do any sitting, I would recommend for most people when they got back spasms or they got new back pain, try to avoid sitting as much as possible. I mean, literally, you want to either be laying down or standing up.
Sure.
In most cases, now, again, I realize we got a whole span of people out there, and I don't know what their back injuries are, but for the average person, it's going to usually be better if they don't do any sitting.
Sure.
If you have to sit, though, use some type of support. You can use a rolled towel, and you're going to put it in your low back, right where the arch is, and it's going to form an arch there. A lot of times people when they're having back pain or back spasms, they often like a larger towel. It often feels better. And there's a whole plethora.
Well,
that's one of the day of lumbar supports and back supports that they have out there. They have this one. Where's the nape Brett? Oh, it's right over there.
Yeah, here. There's that shape. This
is an air bladder one that fills up. These two are McKenzie ones. MCKENZIE. And this is NAPO, N-A-I-P-O. Brad really likes this one. He uses this in his car. He uses this when he's cutting lawn.
I do.
So
it's been working well for me.
You use it with it right side up, right?
Right.
Because I actually like it upside down, and I use it in my chair in the office because it just really gives me good support.
Right.
So.
And everyone's got a different back, different shape, sizes. So you have to experiment a little bit. And
Comfort
figure out-
foam?
Memory foam. Memory foam.
I don't know why, I can't remember that.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No pun
intended,
intended.
All right, so you want to make sure you cover that. Generally, you're going to want to avoid, the flex rounded out postures and whatever that entails, like lifting things up like this and round it out. Generally, your back is not going to allow you. Any questions on Facebook, by the way, Bonnie?
But there's only one. I didn't know to avoid sitting. How about on a long trip?
On a long trip, that's the problem. When you're having back pain, you want to try to avoid those long trips. I mean, we tell people, we just did a video on, we're going to be posting the next week on what to do with back pain in the car. So you want to watch that because that's going to give you some good hints on what to do. That's why you want to subscribe to our channel, by the way.
Yeah, but you know, on long trips, you're going to want to have your lumbar support, or hopefully you figured out what works best for you. Stop, get out and walk. There's a number of tricks.
Things you can try.
Okay.
So, all right, Brad, do you want to throw me some pillows and we'll go over the pillows, what we should do in bed as far as.
Lulu Bell said, yeah, thank you too.
All right. Yeah, Lonnie's throwing some pillows. There's one. So with your back pain, just some of the things you could try. When if you sleep on your side, the tried and true one quite often is to put a pillow between your legs.
Sure. Yeah.
That just helps level off the spine here. So the other thing that you may want to try is a roll towel or sheet. Do we have that full sheet?
Yeah, while we've got this thing up here that we use here.
Yeah. So you can use a roll towel and actually, so if I'm on my side, there's a little gap right here in the back. I don't know if you can see that. So I'll move my hand, but so we got a pillow between the legs and there's a little roll towel right here. It just gives some support to the back and keeps it in a little better position. And I'm trying to keep the back somewhat straight. I'm not trying to round up like this, bring my knees way up. I kind of keep them down, keep everything straight. I'd probably have two pillows for my head because I'm on my side. Now, what's nice if you actually use this and roll up a sheet or a longer towel is you can put it around you and pin it in place or tie it in place or something. I don't want you to get stuck by a pin at night. But now with it in this position, now it'll support me when I'm on my side, but look when I go on my back, it's also there.
Right, so it takes the whole circumference.
Yeah, it gives you the arch support while you're on your back. It's something worth a try. The other thing is, even when you're sleeping at night, you might try, Brad, you might throw the leg wedge over here.
Oh, yes.
Especially during, when you're first in the initial parts of back pain, this might feel really good. It might be a very comfortable position for you to sleep in at night.
Sure.
So a lot of times it's good to have that leg wedge around for emergency back pain. So,
yeah, it's nice. It's just another thing for having around the house.
Anything else on back, on sleeping, Brad, that you want to mention? I think that's the main ones for the low back. There's a lot of things for the neck. That
Right.
you
There's that one trick that we should show that works for some people. I'll let you lay on your side again.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're in this hook line position, you take a pillow underneath your feet, and sometimes that'll make that back pain, or if you have pain running down the leg, it can turn it off really well. It's one of the things you try. If it works, you'll know, you'll keep it there. If not,
And sometimes people can put two pillows there.
sure.
Or double up a pillow,
Yeah.
but it's a weird thing, but it sometimes really works.
Right.
So-
So that's a mulligan trick, right?
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
Right, mulligan, yeah.
So
There's a question. What about placing pillows on their back?
pillows underneath the back, like in there. I don't know that I would do that. You know where that works out really good if you're using a throw pillow in your couch. Like you don't want to sit on a soft couch because when you sit on a soft couch, you're sinking right in, and you can use a support like that, but that's not enough. So you take a throw pillow and you just put a pillow underneath there, and it give you some support. A pillow would probably be too much under your back in the bed. Would you agree, Brad?
Yes.
So, okay, any other questions over there? We'll take some questions now.
Well,
We're kind of done with the
We
main
got quite a
questions.
number of them, and some of them are a little more detailed than we can get into
Oh, sure.
online. We apologize for that. We'd like to go through each of them.
We have to apologize too. The number of comments now we get on videos is just overwhelming, and we just virtually can't respond to a lot of them because of it right now. And that's why we try to do some of these live events where we try to answer some of the questions, because you know, Brad and I are still working full-time as therapists, and we're also trying to put out videos. So between the two of them, it really takes up our day.
Yeah,
So,
and then we do have other things going on.
yeah, then we do have lives and wives and stuff like that. So any other quick questions, Brad? Or
Oh, geez, I was just looking at, sometimes the creative workshop by Francilia. What do you suggest to alleviate back pain if you work in a standing position all day?
there we go. That's a good one to talk about. Okay, one thing with the standing position is it really helps a lot of times actually to have that sit to stand stool, right, Brad?
Right. Now, for you, this will be way too short.
Right.
You need a stool and it's a little too short for me. I want just a little taller,
yeah.
but a stool where you can still do your work in a near standing position, but you sit in that stool if it's a taller computer or wherever you're working, and so you can sit and stand alternately to every 20 minutes or so and not interfere with your work.
Actually, Brad, like this countertop, believe it or not, is almost about right for me.
There you go.
Yeah, look at this. I'm standing, but now here I'm sitting.
Right.
But look, there's hardly any difference, but it's a big difference on the stress it takes off your back and
Right.
things like that. So
And you know, if you need to be working in a standing position and rotate one spot to the other, if you get a stool that has a seat pan that actually is on a swivel, that can work. Were you going to talk about bringing one foot?
yeah,
up?
why don't you show that, Brad?
Let's pull that up. This is probably not what we would use, but like if you're doing dishes and you're standing doing the dishes, you can open the cupboard up.
Yeah.
Like here, and if you put one foot up for a while and you switch feet position, that changes
It
the
makes a
mechanics on your
difference, yeah.
back. You know, or you can take a stool like this and here, you know, this would be nice because you got two options. So you may go here for a minute or two or longer, and then like this.
It depends on your back. Sometimes, like you said, it even feels better to stretch like this,
Right.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
And sometimes it might feel better to stretch like this when you're standing.
Right.
I don't know which one it's going to be,
And
but
it's going to depend.
yeah.
Depending on the nature of your back pain, the origin of it. So these are just options that you can hopefully
Yeah,
try.
try a little different thing here. So, Yo-Yo Scene says balance problem has a relationship with. Does balance problem have any relationship with neck and back pain? Usually not. Sometimes you get a little dizziness with neck pain.
Yeah, usually not.
No, I would
You know,
say
it's
not.
possible.
So, someone wants to drop in and say hi. Hi.
There's been a number of people
No.
that just want to say hi, and we do want to say hi back to everyone involved, and hopefully.
Here's a good question,
Oh,
Brad.
here we go.
Jennifer Sayans, how many of these exercises should you do at a time? How many a day? The thing about like those extensions, you can do those every hour. I mean, that's how often you can do those.
And he's talking about the ones where you
Yeah.
lay on your stomach. You're only going to do them every hour if.
Right. You're not going to do them if they make your pain worse.
Right.
But people are often, it's a good question because people are often surprised, Brad. I think they go, oh, I'll just do it once a day. My sister-in-law just was having trouble with sciatica.
Sure.
And I started her on these, and she goes, well, I'm just doing it one time a day. I go, Barb, you can do them every hour.
Right.
And so, and that makes a big difference. You'll start really seeing results
Right.
if you do them more often.
Usually people have a hard time with that because they're at work or they're in a place where they don't have a place to lay down. You know, then I always try to get them at least 3 times. a
Right,
day or
3 to
more.
5, or, you know, do one in the morning, mix it up. So,
So locking knees, what does that do to your back?
Yeah.
locking knees, well, one thing, a lot of times when people lock, you're talking about standing, I wonder.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
hyperextending the knees or locking.
If you lock the knees back like this, it often throws my hips forward, and it throws my back like this, and it just puts me in a rounded out posture.
Right, so that it's related to posture more than anything.
So what we often will tell people is to go ahead and if you're gonna stand a lot too, is to do kind of a side step like this here.
Right.
So you're gonna put one foot in front of the other, and then kind of lean forward a little bit, and that puts me in good posture. It's as soon as you lock things and lean back, it puts you in bad
All right,
posture.
so you know, flex your knees slightly. Don't
Yeah.
you get them on
Yeah,
that
good
line,
point.
and that can cause knee pain anyway. So a slight flexion in the knees. In other words, just bend them a little bit.
Here's a good question. How can I find a suitable chair for herniated disc stenosis problem? This is a tough one.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know that I even have found a good chair myself, but I always look for a solid back.
Right.
I don't want one of those flexible office backs.
I'm assuming, yeah, we don't know if you're talking about for a computer workstation where you're going to be there all day, or at home watching TV in a recliner type.
In a recliner, again, I would use a throw pillow. Again, that seems to work out pretty good for me. But, this is actually my office chair here, Brad. It is.
That yellow one is?
Yeah, this one is, and the reason I like it is because it's really solid, and it hits me right on my low back, and it gives me support. Now, I think a lot of times what would work really well in a chair like this would be like that maple, this really larger back support. Because if I put this in place, again, I'm going to put it upside down. That's how I like it. I mean, look at this. My whole back is supported.
Right.
This actually feels really good. Try this one, Fred.
Yeah, I'll try it upside down.
It really actually feels quite good.
Yeah, I think if this memory foam on this particular back support, I personally, I need to sit in for a while, leave it conform to my back. Yeah. I don't know, Bob. I'd try it, but I think I might like it the other way better. But that's the way it is. Everyone's a little bit different.
That's right.
Bob and I are a little more than a little bit different.
So, Brad, we've been running a half hour here. I think we've more people enough know. So, I want to thank everybody for watching.
Not only that, I'm getting hungry.
Remember, Brad and I can fix just about anything except for that broken heart.
But we're not going to be able to get on.
I know, but we're trying. Well, you got a heart. Yeah, wait a minute. Brad's going to show a heart.
Oh, there we go. This one.
Is hard. It's broke, and we're not able to fix it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we're working on it.
Thanks for watching.
Get some tape out. Get some duct tape.